Hey guys, what's going on? It's week 12. We have a special week. It's Thanksgiving week. It's perfect football week. I will upload a video about the three games on Thursday as well. But let's get started with my Sunday lineup for week 12. A quick recap. Last week was pretty good. The lineup scored 135 points. We hit it off with Le'Veon Bell, but the cheaper punts didn't hit, so that was what limited us. And 135 points. It was a pretty low scoring week, except for the later games. So that's okay. It's not great, but it's always early in the week, so it's hard to really find the perfect value guys. I switched on to David Johnson a little bit later in the week just because of the low ownership. Um, I didn't see Mike Gillisley though. He wasn't on my radar at all. I'm sorry for that, guys. He scored huge and was a cheap play. So let's hope we find those guys this week. Okay, for quarterback, we start off with Russell Wilson. Um, People who watched my videos before know I don't like him. So if I play Russell Wilson, he has to be in a really good matchup, or um, I'm going insane, or something else happened. Maybe I banged my head or something, and some switches turned in my brain, and out of a sudden I like Wilson. But since that didn't happen, he just has a great matchup. Tampa Bay is one of the worst defense in my opinion. It's supposed to be Oakland and Chicago for the receivers, but Tampa Bay is way worse in my opinion. Oakland got really good actually the last couple weeks, and I like to hit on Tampa Bay wherever I can. It's not like Cleveland or San Francisco, but um, a matchup people won't look as much or as often as maybe Cleveland. And Wilson being close to healthy again, very good opportunity here, and 6,700 is a great price in my opinion. For running back, we will go expensive this week. First guy David Johnson, second guy Jay Ajayi. Okay, so David Johnson, I wanted to fade him this week just because he hit last week and people will be all over him. Most expensive guy, great matchup on paper against Atlanta. But he's just, Atlanta gives up the most receptions to running backs, and if you look at his targets, I mean that's number one receiver targets you see there, and with our guy, um, wait a sec, Carson Palmer, uh, being really bad actually this season so far. They have to rely on Johnson, and Atlanta will score no matter what, even against Arizona. And it's in Atlanta, so I think they will try to keep Atlanta off the field a little bit, and just run David Johnson. And he will get 20 attempts at least. And if he sees 11 targets again, that's a lock for 20 points. And I mean, that's worth 8,900 for sure, in my opinion. The other one, Jay Ajayi, at home, going against the worst run defense. He is not that much of a pass catcher, so San Francisco is the perfect matchup for him. Just straight um, bad in run defense, not against pass catching running backs or something special. Just giving up 5.6 yards or something to opposing running backs, and he even had close to 5 against LA, and mm, I mean 4.6 against the Jets. That's insane. And he didn't score high the last 2 weeks, so I hope people won't be on him as much, and we will have a lower owned guy at the perfect matchup. And I mean, Miami really has to win, or it's a really important game for them, so they won't risk anything special and just run Ajayi out there, I think. Okay, for wide receiver. First one will be Sterling Shepard. Going up against Cleveland, Joe Hayden will be all over our boy Odell Beckham. And last week, Beckham was covered by Tracy Porter, I think. And Shepard saw 11 targets. And one of his receptions got really close to the end zone, so he could have had 2 touchdowns, which would have bumped him up a lot. He only caught 5 of them, but against Cleveland, who only really has a great cornerback number 1, and the rest is really not good at all. I think he has huge upside. Um, I don't like the rest of the team really, but Sterling Shepard is, in my opinion, one of the best plays this week. You can just go to Odell Beckham real quick. Look what he had. 7 targets, only 5 receptions, 9.6 fantasy points. I will expect some more points this week, but still Joe Hayden is a really great cornerback. And I mean, that will keep the game open for Sterling Shepard. Um, the second wide receiver will be Tyler Boyd. He saw 8 targets last week. AJ Green is out for the rest of the season. Giovanni Bernard is out for the rest of the season. And Baltimore is a really great defense against the run, as well as against the tight end. So both Eifert and Hill will be great plays, but in a bad matchup, so I don't expect huge numbers out of those two. And the receivers will have to go off if they score. Um, I don't like LaFell that much. He was pretty decent going up with all the good guys on AJ Green, and in him catching some touchdowns in the end zone. But Boyd, the rookie, really showed some potential last week, and I think he can step it up and really use his chance to develop and express himself in the Cincinnati passing offense. The last receiver will be our stack, and that's Tyler Lockett. Didn't hit last week. He only had 3 targets as well, but he had a 27-yard reception or something that was close to the end zone, called back because of a penalty, and he really looks better now. He also runs the punt returns, so he has a little upside there as well. And against Tampa Bay, I think he really has a chance. I mean, Pro Size is supposed to be out, so some of the big plays will have to go to someone else, and Tyler Lockett is the guy. I really like him this week. For tight end, the must play at tight end this week is Greg Olsen. Oakland is really bad against the tight ends and stepped it up against the receivers. And I mean, a game where Olsen is not there, Cam is doing pretty bad. So last week, 7 targets, only 4 receptions, and Cam didn't really. I mean, he just doesn't seem like the same guy with Olsen being taken out. So all the big games Cam Newton had, Olsen had big games as well. And I mean, Oakland is a better defense than most of the people think, but against the tight end, they're actually pretty bad. And whenever Cam sees Greg Olsen having some space, that's a lock for him. Um, I don't like the Cam and Calvin Benjamin chemistry as much. I don't think they really connect a lot. But Greg Olsen and Cam Newton, that's something special. And I mean, at 5,800, I expect a huge game out of him. 5,800, it's very cheap for someone with that potential and upside. Okay, and the last guy will be Chris Hogan going up against the Jets. Very, very weak to big plays, to deep passes, and I mean the number one guy for those plays in New England is Chris Hogan. If you have Brady under center, you can catch most of those balls as well. I mean, some quarterbacks will go deep and there's no chance for the receiver to really make the catch, but I mean it's Brady, so they will be on target, and Chris Hogan will be up for a really great game. Um, I looked at Mike Gillisley at first if LaShawn McCoy is out, just because Jacksonville has a pretty good pass defense and it's not as good against the run, but looking at it more and closer, I think I even like Hogan better if McCoy is out, just because he's a great play this week. And for defense, we got the Ravens. Going up against Cincinnati, the Ravens have the fifth best sack rate, I think. The Ravens defense and the Cincinnati's defense offense line has the worst sack rate in the league. Adjusted sack rate on Football Outsiders. Um, so everybody's looking for the guys that go up against Jacksonville or against the Browns or San Francisco, but I think with the guys injured that I told you about, AJ Green and Giovanni Bernard, and their really real weapons being the tight end and the running back, both positions Baltimore is really great against. I think they will have a great game, and Tyler Boyd will be the only bright spot in that offensive game, and the Ravens should have a lot of sacks, if not even forced turnovers, and I think they're locked for about 8 to 10 points, which is really great for a defense because there's such huge inconsistency. That will be my cash defense as well. I mean, they have upside and they have a really high floor in my opinion, so the Ravens will be the defense to go for me this week. Okay, I hope you liked the video. I hope the lineup will do pretty good. It's a risky lineup again with all those cheap wide receivers, but they're in good spots, and I really believe in that lineup this week, and I will hope it pays off. So see you in the next video, hopefully later tonight or tomorrow.